For the past few years, the Indiana Pacers have been decent. They've had just a ton of just really good players, but not players that could lead them to a championship. In the past 2 to 3 years, the closest player they had to do that was Victor Oladipo, but unfortunately, due to injury, he has really just became a decent starting level player, and yet that's just what they have. Decent starting level players. This past year, they had 5 just decent players, but no superstar to get them to that next level. And because of that, that's why I think the Pacers should hit the reset button this offseason and just stockpile a bunch of good young rookies and assets that will allow them to actually get a star and continue forward. So yeah, in today's video, we are going to be going over what the Indiana Pacers should do in the 2020 offseason. So the first trade I think they should make is going to get them a ton of assets as well as a near 20-point per game scorer. So the Indiana Pacers give up TJ Warren and Miles Turner, and and they get back Gordon Hayward, Carson Edwards, 3 second-round picks, pick 23, pick 27, and a 2022 lottery-protected first-round pick. So let's dissect this trade. First off, this is based off of a trade that's been going around a lot, which is Gordon Hayward for Miles Turner. But I added on a ton of assets from the Celtics side, as well as TJ Warren from the Pacers side. I already talked about this trade in the Celtics video, so I'm going to make this quick. Basically, the Celtics are getting that center, and they're also getting a 20-point per game scorer to replace Gordon Hayward that is more consistent than him. And the Pacers are getting a 20-point per game scorer who is a borderline all-star that they can trade to a contender for assets. He's on an expiring deal, so even though he will be on a max contract, a contender with cap space would probably trade for him because he is only on a 1-year deal. They're also getting back Carson Edwards, who is a decent young guard that might be able to progress into a starting caliber point guard one day. And they're getting 3 second-round picks, which they can pick some decent bench players, maybe even a starter. And they get 3 first-round picks. They're late first, but they still might be able to pick up some decent young players. So this is the first of many trades that I think the Pacers should make to jumpstart a rebuild that will allow them to get a ton just better players than they had in their previous run, because like I said at the beginning of the video, their team right now is definitely not contending. So the next trade is a absolutely massive trade. So the Golden State Warriors give up pick 2 as well as the Iguodala trade exception, which is the reason why this trade works financially. And the Indiana Pacers give up Domantas Sabonis and 3 second-round picks. So the Pacers get pick 2, and they give up Sabonis, who right now is at his highest value so far. He is a young center that is just really good at rebounding. He's also really good in the post, and he is a really good playmaker. So you might be wondering why the Warriors would make this trade. Well, I've decided that all of these off-season videos, they're going to be canon to each other. So, for example, that Celtics trade you saw earlier, that carries over from the previous video. And the next video I'm going to be making is the Warriors off-season video. And I'll explain that more in that video. But basically, in that video, Draymond is going to get traded. So the Warriors, they get a worse defensive version of Draymond, but he's just much better offensively in Domantas Sabonis to anchor that middle. And the Pacers get a chance to draft either Anthony Edwards or LaMelo Ball. depending on who the Timberwolves pick. So yeah, I think this could really work out for both teams, and no one's really been talking about this. I came up with it myself, but like, trust me, it's gonna make a lot more sense once I make the Warriors video. This next trade is probably a bit of a stretch, but I really think it could work out. So, the Chicago Bulls give up Cristiano Felicio in pick 4, and they receive Malcolm Brogdon. So yeah, this is a weak draft, and like, we know that. So, the Chicago Bulls right now, they want to get into the playoffs, because for the past few years, their fan interest has been dipping, because like, they've just been horrible, and I think Malcolm Brogdon can help them get into the playoffs. While they do have a good young point guard in Kobe White, I, like many other people, think he's more of a spark plug player where he just comes off the bench and gives you a ton of points, kind of like Lou Williams and Jamal Crawford. And the Bulls don't really have a really good playmaker. So yeah, I think that's what Malcolm Brogdon can be. He can average like 15 points, 8 assists. We know he's capable of being an elite shooter because he was 50, 40, 90 in the 2019 season. And yeah, like, I think he can just really help elevate this Bulls team and help them get that 8th spot or 7th spot in the playoffs next year. And yeah, obviously the Pacers get another asset and an expiring contract in Cristiano Felicio, who's just there to make the money work. Oh yeah, and also the Bulls are going to love this trade because they can finally get rid of Cristiano Felicio, which a ton of Bulls fans hate. Yeah, overall, I think this trade could work out really nicely for both teams, as the Pacers get another top pick, and they clear off the Malcolm Brogdon contract, and the Bulls get a good player to help elevate them into a playoff position. So yeah, this next trade, I don't think Pacers fans are going to like it a lot, but it's an Oladipo trade. So I know recently Oladipo said that the trade demand rumor was false, but either way, I think the Pacers should still trade him because he is an expiring deal. He declined their offer of a $20 million extension, and just overall, it doesn't seem like he's going to be a all-star, borderline superstar player anymore. So because of that, I think they should trade him. And yeah, so this trade with the Atlanta Hawks, I think, makes a lot of sense to me. The Hawks get a really nice defensive shooting guard that can also average 15 to 20 points per game and be a nice secondary ball handler alongside Trae Young and just complement him really well. Because the Hawks, they don't need more young talent. They need to get into the playoff because if they don't, Trae Young might demand a trade soon, and they don't want that because Trae Young is looking like potentially a future MVP level player, as he averaged 30 points per game and 9 assists in just his second season. So yeah, they need to get him more help, especially on the defensive end, and Oladipo can provide that. And once again, the Pacers get another top pick. This would give them a third top 6 pick. That is absolutely ridiculous. The last trade is a trade between the Pacers and the Kings. So the Pacers give up Jeremy Lamb in pick 23, which they received in the T.J. Warren Miles Turner trade from the Boston Celtics, for Corey Joseph in pick 12. So the Pacers give up Jeremy Lamb to move up 11 spots, and the Kings get a good role player that can run the 2 guard, since Buddy Hield is probably not going to be on the team next year. And I actually think they will trade him, which I will go over in a upcoming video. But yeah, so they give up Corey Joseph, who is just there to make the salaries work. And yeah, so I because the Kings, I don't really think they need pick 12, because right now they're trying to get to the playoffs, make like De'Aaron Fox more happy, because as we've seen recently, players have a lot more power than they used to. If you have a a losing franchise, and your franchise player does not think they can win there, they will demand a trade, and you're going to lose them. So they have to make sure that it doesn't happen with De'Aaron Fox, and try to end this extremely long playoff drought. And I think Jeremy Lamb can help them do that, especially with the setback that is they have to lose Buddy Hield. So yeah, I think Jeremy Lamb could provide some wing depth, which they could really use. So yeah, after all of these trades, the Pacers look completely different. Like none of their main starting players from last year are on the team anymore after all these trades. So yeah, let's quickly review what their team would look like. So you would have either LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards. Then you'd have 2 out of the 3 of probably Onyeka Okongwu, Denny Avdija, and Obi Toppin, depending on who you take at 4 and 6. And then you have Gordon Hayward, as well as the player you take at pick 12. So the player that they would take at pick 12 depends on like who they get at pick 2, 4, and 6. Because like if they get LaMelo Ball, they obviously won't take another point guard. But if they get Anthony Edwards, they might have to take a point guard at pick 12. And if they get Okongwu, then they don't need like a big, so they'd probably take a wing. Like there's a lot of different things they could do at pick 12. So, but yeah, they get another rookie at pick 12, and then off the bench they have whoever they take at pick 27, Goga Bitadze, Aaron Holiday, Justin Holiday, and Doug McDermott. So yeah, obviously that team's not going to be that good, and during the season, I would expect them to trade Gordon Hayward if all these trades went through for either a pick or a young asset. Another thing this does is, so next year, instead of having a pick in like the late teens or in the 20s, they would now have a top 5 pick, probably, which, especially based off how stacked the upcoming draft is, they could probably land a franchise player that could lead them throughout the 2020s and help them become a contending franchise. But overall, I think the Indiana Pacers should hit the reset button this offseason. Comment down below if you agree with any of these trades or disagree with any of these trades. Also, comment down below why you think that. And also, in your comment, like, tell me, do you think they should hit the reset button, or do you think this core is going to be able to do anything? Because in my personal opinion, none of these players are good enough to lead a franchise to a championship, so that's why I think they should reset it and capitalize on their value right now. So yeah, anyways, that's it for the video. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to like, and yeah, and also comment down below what your thoughts are. So anyways, that's it for the video, so bye.